Okay, welcome to the forest garden in Riverton. This is on a 1/4 acre section and was planted in 2009, and there's lots and lots of different apple trees, stone fruit and hazelnuts. You can see the hazels here on the floor. So you're welcome to sample one. Try it. So, and if you look up on the edges, the ends of the branches, you can see the nuts in the little flowers. I think up here there's some. I haven't fallen down yet. So there's this little cluster. It's just fallen off easily, so those nuts are probably just about ready. Fresh hazel. This little yellow apple, this is
like a
crab apple used as a pollinator. So it's used because it flowers for like about 6 weeks, and while it's flowering for that long, a lot of the other ones are flowering in their sequence for a shorter time, and so this will pollinate them. So what we try and foster in the forest garden is lots of different layers. So you can see here a real distinct herbage layer of the comfrey, cow parsley, and then sort of above that and a bit higher is this Jerusalem artichoke, and I think there's another, I'm not sure the name of this one, but it's in the same kind of sunflower family. It grows so tall that it's already falling over. See how tall this was? So you can see there it's related to sunflower, so they grow really nice and tall as well. The next layer, and the cow parsley, when it goes to flower, it gets really high as well. This was this high in about late October, and it was all over my head, and so we cut it down with sickles and squashed it down just by walking on it. You can see in the herbage layer there's potatoes as well, so there's quite a lot of potatoes around.
Yeah, basically weed potatoes. When once you got them, they're hard to get rid of. They keep popping up all the time.
And here's one with more of a purple stem. It'll be a different variety.
Where's the best place to get seed for cow parsley? I've tried to find some, I can't find any.
Yeah, probably to come to somewhere like here and collect it in the winter time. There's Alexander's seed around. I can show you what that looks like. Here's another layer of all the harakeke, and so this is harvested for basket making and other uses. We've got a lot of willows used for biomass and for shading. And we do chop and drop on the willows frequently. And what you'll notice is that usually there's not the same tree repeated. If you look at the apples now, you can really tell that there's lots of different types and different varieties. Most of these are heritage, so that means they've been growing in Southland for 100 to 150 years. And then we have another biomass plant, fennel. So it grows also quite high, and then we chop and drop it for biomass. Another willow, but a different type. This is a persimon up here on the right. A buddleia, so it's got a nice purple flower to attract pollinators, feed the pollinators. Buddleia, or butterfly plant. This is Alexander's. I don't know if you know it, but it's one of the few vegetables that's ready in early spring when there's not much else around, but it's also here now because we've been chopping and dropping it.
Oh.
And if you look carefully around, you'll probably find some of it still with seeds on it. So if you want that as a food forest plant at your place, just collect some of these seeds and spread them around, and then you'll have Alexander's.
And so that's use a bit like the cow parsley.
Yeah, as a green carvo green
colour.
mulch and a chop and drop.
Yeah.
It does get this woody stem when it's maturing and finishing off, but you can eat it, you know, when it's around and it's like that. You just use it as a salad green, or just chop and put it in a stir fry with soup or whatever. So you can take that, pass it around. There's usually, there's some to your left, there's some globe artichoke. So that grows also quite big once it gets going, but it's got just a great flower. That flowers for months, so it's really feeding a lot of bumblebees and other bees as well. And of course you could come and harvest that for eating. It's a variety, right? Diversity. You're really seeing lots of different plants. And we could do a bit more as we get kind of well maintained. We can find little gaps and then plant new things. This one here is edible. This is mallow, tree mallow.
Oh, yeah.
It's got a lovely little purple flower on it. Also we chop and drop it a bit. But that's what marshmallow originally was made from, was the mallow family plant.
Mushrooms.
Yes.
You got some mushrooms?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here. Over here.
See, that's probably feeding on the willow that we cut last winter. We did some chop and drop there. So and you can see, let's have a look at the soil. What's happening in the soil layer is that because of all this chop and drop that we've done, the biomass, you can see it's alive. There's things jumping around, there's fungi, and look, it's got quite nice soil on there.
Really dark.
Quite nice and dark. And I think it's quite a way before you hit the sand again. Full of roots. Wow, I mean that's good soil.
Yeah.
It's like potting mix.
Yeah, good, isn't it?
So that's, you know, a decade of biomass growing, chopping and dropping. And Robert often comes through around here and just uses a spade and just chops it around, and walking on it helps. And then I use a sickle quite a lot. And there's some native. Blackberry, there's a feijoa. So that's just planted a couple of, one and a half to 2 years ago. It's quite new, so when there's a gap we can still plant more things into them. This is our legume. This is kowhai. So it's got that pattern leaf where the leaves are opposite each other. Very distinctive. This is very common in the legume trees. And there's the pod there. Most of the other plants are kind of just repeating. There's some, there is more diversity, but there's also repeating of what's growing well. Some natives. Lupins.
Mm.
So you're welcome to try some of the different apples and see what they taste like. I mean, I quite like all the different varieties. And normally the ones that are on the ground are the ones that are more ready to eat than the ones in the tree. If you are adverse to picking them up off the ground and giving them a little bit of a wipe down, the way to know if they're ready on the tree is just to give them a little lift. See if they come off. If they pop off when you lift them kind of 90 degrees, then they're kind of ready. If they're not popping off, then they should really be left to sweeten up a bit more and to finish. And so yeah, the ones on the ground are the better ones to try. Would anyone like to try that one? I picked up that one before. And that one, so look at the diversity there, it's so different. And just because it doesn't look that nice, doesn't mean it might not taste well. So what we like doing is we try them and see what they like, and you get to know new ones. This is a large plum. That's a native coprosma. So its little orange berries are edible. Very high in vitamin C. Yeah. Lovely little crimson clover in there. Be nice to spread that around a little bit more.
Is it the coprosma that you threw those berries on? Is it the same one?
Yes, it's the same one. Yep. Quite amazing how many trees you can get in a 1/4 acre section.
Yeah.